Here's how we 9x'd a business's appointment rate by making them spend 8 times less on their ads, simply just from a completely new funnel strategy that they hadn't tried before. Now, if you don't know who I am, you probably don't. My name is Matteo, founder of appointset.media, and I have been helping over 33 businesses across 6 different niches in the last 2 years when it comes to generating clicks and eyeballs into cash for businesses. So with that being said, I'm going to break down exactly what we did for this residential developer company and how they went from spending $8,000 a month on ads and getting 0 appointments every month to spending only $1,200 a month on ads and getting 9 appointments in their first 27 days on our pilot program. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to share my screen here in a minute and just stay tuned. Okay, so for the landing page, this was their first landing page before I jumped on with them in the pilot program. This was when I was running the audit for them. This was basically their above the fold. So if you don't know what above the fold is, that's when somebody clicks on the ad, either from a Google link or from Facebook or Instagram link, and they come to a site. So this was the first thing anybody was seeing when it comes to showing interest. And I think to the untrained eye, it may look okay or it may even look simple or plain, but there's a few things that stand out right away that we corrected. So first things first is up here, the nav bar, the navigation bar. The biggest problem here is it gets very overwhelming, right? There's so many different things here that someone can click on that's going to ruin the objective of what this page is trying to do, right? This page is one job. That's like take these clicks, get them to leave their information in exchange for something so that they can be contacted, potentially brought into the sales office, shown around the property, brought them to the site, and obviously the end goal of purchasing a home. So right when you come on here, right, obviously these are all things people are interested in, right? They have to get educated on this. But because someone is interested in floor plans, site plans, neighborhoods, galleries, features, the company, and even contacting them, right, rather than putting it all on the above the fold navigation bar to overwhelm them, this is something that can get pieced up into a basically 5 to 6 page lead magnet that will basically educate them as well as put them in touch with the sales rep or whatever real estate agent was on board with them for this project. So with that being said, first thing we did was get rid of this, right? Second thing, right? Headline, subheadline, call to action. Those are the 3 main things you need on a landing page, right? If there is no subheadline, headline, and call to action, then you are basically lighting money on fire. So just to give you an idea, in this specific company for this project, they had spent $24,000 on ads in Q2, so that's the months 3 to 6 of this year. They had generated 347 leads, and they got 0 appointments for it. And this page actually only converted at 4.8%. So per 100 people coming on, if they were lucky, 5 people were actually leaving their information. So what's important about the eyebrow headline, subheadline, and the call to action is these 4 things alone will show people, if it's for them or not. It'll call out what exactly they're looking for and what's in it for them. Display any sort of social proof, or reviews, or points about the features of the project, and then most importantly, where to go. And the CTA is so important because you need to only show them one place. There's only one place to go, right? And over here, like I said earlier, you've shown them 7 places to go, book an appointment, which is the back end offer, and register now. So out of everything here, right, the biggest lever that you can pull is to make them do the least amount of effort, but still you guys get the most amount of value. And that is simply just asking them to register in exchange for information, their contact information, and then you can leave them some time or you can give them a call and get to that next step. Because booking an appointment is the back end offer, right? If you don't know somebody, especially a company with dozens of employees, if you're interested in something, it's a very, very small percentage of people out there who are actively problem aware and solution aware who are going to book an appointment off the rip. And what you actually want to do instead is something low friction, like I said, even just a form to start with the test, just to get their information and then begin that feedback loop of, okay, this person came in, sales team talks to me, I talk to sales team, and we improve. In addition to that, right, the headline here, the center of it all. It's a great headline, but like I said, some people require education, or some people don't even understand what that means, right? So the center of it all, the center of what, right? Obviously, as someone who knows about the project, they're talking about the center of the town that the property is going in, but it doesn't elaborate on that anywhere, right? It just talks about, it talks about the location, it talks about the center of it all, and it talks about just, some quick features, price points, and the size of the homes. So this was a quick fix that we were able to implement for them. And then I'll go into their ads as well. So their ads. So these were the ads that they were running at the time before we actually started working together, right? And these ads, obviously, it's important to show the property, right? Show the homes, show the features, the price points. That's important. But what is even more important is people looking at these ads and feeling understood, or feeling as if that we were in their back pocket listening to them the whole time, right? So this doesn't really hit that in any way. It just kind of talks about why our features or why our project is the best, right? When it comes to marketing, you want to be able to understand the end user. You want to do the research on why people look for a home, what stage of awareness are they in, what phase of their life are they in? Are they upsizing, downsizing, buying for the first time? Is this an investment property, right? There's so many different angles that you have to hit in order to really start to find a sweet spot in the market, and then you start to look at scaling your ad spend up to, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month. So that's why what we did was we actually brought them down to $1,200 a month, because we knew that the problem wasn't that they weren't spending enough. They had plenty of budget. The problem was that they didn't really execute correctly, right? So this now is our landing page. This landing page we built out for them. This was the pilot project. So this was our quick landing page, initially built to gather data, to collect information, and ultimately start converting some leads. So what we put here, obviously Wellington Place, Aurora's premier townhome collection. So right away we talk about the project, and we're talking about why the project is good, right? It's the premier townhome collection. It's a boutique set of townhomes, very scarce amount, only 55 plus properties in the project. And in the subheadline, right, we're putting what they get, what's in it for them, right? Get the price list and floor plans first before it ever went public. And we kind of called it the VIP exclusive package, because you're getting early access to something, right? It's going to say that scarcity and that prestige side to it of like VIP access, right? So just give it a cute name, give it something unique that makes them realize, okay, you know what, this might be worth my while. And then, like I was saying earlier, bullets, testimonies, reviews, or even just quick bullet points are super important, telling them what they're getting, right? So here we put that they're getting first pick, they're getting deposit incentives, they're getting the floor sites, and they're getting the pre-public price list. Now, one thing that I mentioned that was super important about their previous landing page that I showed earlier was that they had 7 different places that somebody could go to right when clicking onto the ad. They already don't even know a lot when they're coming on. They need that guidance, whether they realize it or not. They need to be shown where to go to help them get the answers that they're looking for. And that's exactly what we did for the opt-in and the call to action. So I said the fourth component was the CTA, right? The CTA is crucial because you need to show them, like I said, there's only one place to go, and that's here. So first of all, incentivize them for the CTA, right? Why should they do this call to action? And it's to get the exclusive package, the floor plans, amenities, and pricing for every single model that was going up for this project, right? So very simply, we just put name, email, phone number, and then what the company was looking for. They wanted to know what type of buyer they were. So what best describes you is like upsizing, downsizing, investor, retiring, first-time home buyer, and then if they're working with an agent because they had some agents on the project. Now, this was the landing page. This was our above the fold for the landing page. Was super. This is our above the fold for the landing page. Super easy, super clear, super concise, super to the point. And that's what you want this to be. You want this to be something for someone to come onto, understand why they clicked, understand if it's for them, and understand what they should do now that they've realized it's for them. And that's hit right here. Now, the ads that we also were able to execute for them. Like I said, there are so many different angles for so many different reasons why somebody might be looking to purchase a property, right? Are they investing? Are they looking for a bigger home? Are they looking for a smaller home? Are they looking to relocate? Are they looking to grow their family or start a family, right? There's so many different angles, and that's why we had launched initially over 35 ad creatives for them, and it went after those simple angles, like I said. So up/downsize, investor, first-time home buyer, relocation, right? And then we also did a fifth angle, which was the tax break. So in this province, for new construction homes under a certain price point, the province has removed the tax, the HST. So usually sales on homes, 13%, remove that HST completely. So whatever the sticker price was, that was what they got unless they wanted any upgrades. So this was a great angle, actually, that worked quite well. But what worked very well for us was actually the investor angle and the first-time home buyer angle. So we kind of did the first-time home buyer angle down here. 5 years from now, you'll be glad you bought, right? Because A lot of people, when they're looking for that first home, they spend so much time in analysis paralysis and trying to figure out what's best for them. Should they build? Should they buy a condo? Should they buy a townhouse? Should they buy resale? Should they buy new construction, right? There's so many different things that keeps them wondering. So just at the bare minimum, to spark that curiosity, you want to show you get them, right? Where in 5 years, you'll be glad you bought, because there's so many people out there who don't even take that first action, take that first step. So to automatically signal to them that they'll be happy making a decision, you want to get them curious about, okay, well, what's this decision? And they click and they go to the landing page. Now, some other ads that worked quite well were before everyone knows, was kind of the investor angle. And then we did no tax on new homes. That was the tax break angle. And then we had the downsize angle that worked here, because believe it or not, the first few sales that came in were actually elderly who were looking to downsize. So this was actually an angle that worked quite well for us as well. Now from here, obviously our numbers, right? So like I said in the beginning of this video, we did $1,200 for the first initial 27 days for the pilot project. So we had almost decreased their ad budget by 8x. We got them 75 leads, 9 appointments, and a 12.4% opt-in rate. So out of every 100 people, 12 people, give or take, were actually able to exchange information. So they went from doubling their opt-in rate, right, by spending less on ads. Now, this was a great result. Not everyone gets these kind of results, but $1,200, 12 and almost 12.5% opt-in rate, 9 appointments. So we basically turned $1,200 into 9 at-bats at the plate to sell a $1 million home. Now, that is the type of return that we get for our partners. This is usually the industry that we work with in real estate, agents, property builder, residential developers, custom home builders. So if you are a real estate agent, custom home builder, looking to actually start taking social media seriously, looking to actually implement a system that will help you grow, click the link below, because this is the first of many result-based videos. And yeah, that's how we got this residential development company 9 times more appointments in 1 month with almost 8 times less ad spend. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be posting some more as the days come on. Peace.